Hi all, it's Justin here. This week on Deprogrammed, Jennie, Tommy, and I talked about the high strung, and we were lucky enough to be joined on After the Fact by Chad Stocker. We got to bounce the list off him. And here, you're going to hear him discuss his thoughts on the song we chose as our number one with a bullet. So if you'd like to hear the entire conversation, patreon.com/ohhijustin. And here's Chad.
Well, yeah, we've been asking ourselves that same question for 20 years.
But so I'm going to start here. Like the last thing we do on every episode is we pick the number one song with a bullet. What is the one song that will represent the band in our best of the year episode? And what is the one song, if you had one song from the 10 that you would tell somebody to listen to get into high strung? And the one we came up with, before I give you the rest of the 10, was Riots of the Mind. And I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on Riots of the Mind and wonder if there's like a story behind that.
Well, the thing I can think of right off the rip with Riots of the Mind is that it was off of our last record. Mm-hmm. The title, Riots of the Mind. No, it's called Quiet Riot. And that's the first song on the album. And that's the first album we did with one of the original members of the band back in the band. He had left the band in late 2004. This is Mark Owen. And he hadn't been in the band since, and then he came and he moved back home to Detroit. I don't know, maybe 4 years ago or so, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And he's like, I want to join the band again. And we said, okay. And so it was the first time. And probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he was I think he was out of the band for like, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. Or something. I don't know, 10 years. I wish I knew the numbers right off the bat here. I can't remember when he came back. But we quickly made Riots of the Mind, and that came out in 2018. I know. So, yeah, so that, I think, it's what's cool about it is that, you know, when he got back into the band, it kind of breathed all this new life into the group, you know, because we hadn't toured in a long time, and touring was a big part of our thing, you know. We toured a lot. And then at some point we stopped, and then everybody started to have families and jobs and stuff like that. And then when Mark moved back home, you know, and we made a couple of albums during that time, but when Mark moved back home, he kind of like breathed the whole sorts of new life back into the band, because it was so new to him to be in a band. So he was real, you know, gung-ho, like, hey, let's play a gig, let's rehearse this week, and let's do this and let's do that, and we'll make a video. Or, you know, he was the gung-ho guy, where all the rest of us were like, oh man, we've been doing this for 17 years, I don't know, it's kind of on autopilot, you know. And autopilot for us though was like still writing a number of songs and playing a ton of gigs, but there was something new and fresh and rejuvenating about him coming back into the group.
So I'm
you get that fresh energy coming in, kind of.
No,
yeah, he was like a little kid, you know, coming into this thing. Yeah, so I'm coming back to it.
I'm glad you said that though. There is, so first of all, we covered, I think it was 11 was the number, 11 albums, which is normally a lot, but there isn't a misstep in the entire discography. Zero, none. They're all friggin' fantastic, which makes this show difficult. But there is something to say about Quiet Riots. There was like a different energy to it. Like I guess it came through in the music.
Well, cool. I'm glad that you guys could feel that too, because it definitely felt like that to us. I think, you know. You guys even like Dragon Dicks?
Yes.
Yes.
I like Dragon Dicks. Let me isolate that.
Who doesn't like Dragon Dicks, really?
Dragon Dicks that's everywhere. Like going to be... And now somebody's going to pull that out as a soundbite and take it out of proportion.
Yep. Here's hoping.
Out of context. That was out of context.
Here's hoping. Thanks again so much to Chad Stalker of The High Strung for his time this week. And if you want to hear that entire conversation, patreon.com/ohhijustin is where you go. And it's only $1 a month. You pledge $1 a month, you get all the after the facts and everything else that I'm doing. And if you'd like to hear our conversation on The High Strung or any other episode of Deprogrammed is available on all podcast platforms and comes out on Thursdays.